everyone, I'm back with another video. So today's topic is about study techniques. Okay, so today I will be emphasizing more about the importance of study techniques and how it can be applied in your life. Now, many students, I believe, have uploaded videos online, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and many other social medias out there on how you can use those study techniques, okay? But nobody really emphasized the importance of doing it. So I, as a student of today's generation, believe that every student have their own ways on studying, and it varies from student to student, basically. But me as a student, I believe that it is very, very important. No matter what your study technique is, it's very, very important to use it on a daily basis, especially when you go to class. Okay, so like when I go to class, I usually take down notes. I carry my laptop, I carry my iPad with me. When the lecturer is talking, I'm taking down notes. When I don't understand something, I ask questions in class. When I am feeling like I do not really get what the lecturer is trying to say, but I'm trying to summarize, I'm trying to like basically summarize what the lecturer is saying. I summarize the thing and I ask the lecturer again whether it's correct or not to get proper clarifications. When I feel like I'm not getting the right answers from my friends or from my classmates, I go and ask the lecturer. Everything, right, when it comes to study techniques, when you talk about study techniques, right, the importance of it, it's not really spoken out there because people feel like lecturers are not that very useful. They don't really give you the right tips or tricks sometimes, but you're wrong, because your assignments, your final grades, your final exams, they are the ones who are giving, and they decide the question papers and even your assignments at the end of the day. So it is very important if you go and ask them basically this, okay? Every time you go and ask them a question, every time you try to clarify a question with them, they can see that you are trying to participate. You're trying to create a two-way communication with them, and that's what they like. They don't tell you this. They don't tell you that, I like when the student comes to me and asks me questions. No lecturer would tell you this, or no teacher would tell you this, okay? But I realized this, that the more a student asks from the lecturer or the teacher will actually help the student. It doesn't matter what subject it is, how difficult the subject is. If you have the willingness of going and asking the lecturer will guide you. The lecturer will help you. And also, on top of that, when you talk about study techniques, what's so important about it? Well, you need to take down notes. That's where many students are wronged about it, okay? They take it very lightly. They feel like, what's the point of taking notes? It's not a big deal. It's not, it's just a very chill kind of thing. Nah, it's not like that at all, okay? You do not realize the importance of taking notes until the very end of sometimes, okay, very end of your class or before your exams, during your assignments. You do not realize, okay? When you're almost like towards your end of semester, you are feeling like, okay, you know what, I need to sit for my finals now, and I feel like I am overwhelmed with so many subjects and so many things to deal with. That's the time you feel like you actually need your lecturers' notes, because all the answers are there. If you don't understand, it's where during class you refer to their notes and you clarify it with them. If you don't feel like clarifying with them on the spot because you feel like, okay, in the class I can't deal with the so many students in the class, I cannot ask the lecturer, fine, do a one-to-one section with the lecturer, fix an appointment, go and meet the lecturer or the teacher, seek the guidance. That's where the power of mentorship, right, and the power of your study technique, how you do it. It doesn't matter, right, how you do the study techniques, because at the end of the day, everything I would say is all about referring to your lecturers. Because if you do not refer to your lecturers, there's so many things that could go wrong. For instance, okay, in class, if you do not take down your notes, or if you do not record, you can basically, a lot of details will be forgotten. Because in class, right, when the lecturer is talking and giving her lecture, or the teacher is giving her lectures out, most of the details, whatever they're trying to tell you, all the message, right, it's just going into your short-term memory in your brain. If you want to keep it long-term, you have to keep on always referring to their notes. Before class, it's very important for you to refer to their notes, where you can understand what the lesson is about for today. And then after that, during class, you pay attention. Do not play with your phone, right? Okay, I have seen this so many times. I've told this to so many of my friends. In class, always do not play with your phone. Do not sleep. Always pay attention. And the best thing, right, if you want to get a lecturer's message right, you want to feel their whatever that they're saying, and you want to understand it, you want to absorb the message that they're giving you, you have to always sit. Okay, where you sit in class is very important. If you sit at the back of the class, you become a backbencher. Nah, okay? You ain't not gonna get a single thing in your head. If you sit in front, and like I said earlier, do not play with your phone, do not sleep in class, I'm telling you one thing, guarantee you'll be able to get good grades. If you sit in front of the class, you sleep, or you play with your phone, you just act like you are zoning out, yeah, and then you don't take your notes, that's a failed student. Do not come and tell me this, that you tried my method and you still fail your grades despite sitting in front of the class. Because sitting in front of the class does not determine your grades. How you take that advantage and how you reciprocate towards your studies will determine your grades. Okay, so when you take notes, it's very important. Always realize this. You may be recording the lecturer's voice of throughout the entire lecture, and then go home and then sit down and one-to-one you write the entire lecture, or you try to summarize the lecturer's notes, or you try to do something with it, shows that you're doing something already. And that's the beginning of any starting point. Okay? And after the lesson is over, you go home and then you feel like, okay, you know what, I'm not going to study today. Fine, don't study. Do this. Take out a piece of blank paper, or if you have your iPad or your laptop, you can download, there's so many apps out there, okay, that you can do mind maps on. Download an app, or take a piece of paper, draw a mind map. And for today, what do I understand? Draw the roots. Write the topic. Write, okay, this is what lesson, what week. Write. And then draw the branches. And from there, you'll be able, for that day itself, how much do you understand? If you feel like, oh, the notes is just too much, I've already gone through so much of notes, fine, don't do it. I understand medical students, they have like 40 plus over slides, 60, 100 over slides to go through. It's not that easy. Graphs are even worse to understand on. Okay. Being a student who's doing English and PR, also, not every subject, obviously you tell me, irony, not every subject can apply mind maps. True. Maths, you can't do mind map. You need to do practice a lot. So what would I say practice on for mathematical subjects would be? Do practice. Go home, do practice. Just continuously doing it. If, okay, one book finished, take another book. Do it. Do some more, do some more, do some more. Do you know when I was like preparing for SPM, right? I had so many books that my parents bought me, and my tuition teacher would literally recommend so many books for me to get. And I would, if I finish one chapter on this book for today in class, after class, I would go back to my room and I would do in the other 2 books that I have, 2 or 3 books that I have, okay, so that I can understand what the topic is about. So by the time I start to do my SPM for mathematics, well, I can do any sort of question because I'm well versed in every topic that I'm doing. So it's the same for university subjects. Okay, I can't emphasize more on note taking because for me as a student, note taking is very, very important. If you do not take down your notes, it's going to definitely not help in your grades. Okay, it definitely wouldn't help me today to where I am today if I did not take down notes from the first day, if I did not get the power of my mentors from my lecturers since day 1. And also, I would say that study techniques are very, very crucial in doing your daily routine, okay? Making it into your daily routine. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that if you want to achieve your goals, right, okay, for instance, like assignments, you want to make sure that your assignments are foolproof. It's like there's no such thing as like errors and stuff like that. Always do this. Do a draft in the beginning. When you get your assignments, write down everything like a to-do list of what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to submit everything. And then after that, when you start your assignment, right, for example, it's assignment 1, do the assignment 1, have a draft. Always have a draft first. Do a draft, write what you're supposed to write for the assignment first. And then after that, eventually write the essay. After writing the essay, when you feel like, okay, this essay is bulletproof right now, foolproof plan, this is what I'm going to go ahead with, then it's there. Like basically you have the whole outline done, okay? The reason for the draft is the outline. You need the outline done. When you have the outline, you know your first, second, third, fourth paragraphs and so forth, you can write your entire essay. When you write your entire essay, then you're done. Actually, that 3 process is very crucial. After that 3rd process, the last part I always do is this: a day before the assignment submission. Not on the day, okay? A day before the assignment submission. Make sure that you always check your grammar, you check your vocabulary, check your spellings, you check your phrases, your grammar structure, your sentence structures, you check the plagiarism. You do all this a day before the submission. And my advice is this, so that you don't get a panic attack, okay? No, all students will think, oh my god, I'm gonna get a panic attack right now because I'm submitting like on the day of the submission, like an hour or 2 before the submission deadline, before the box closes or something like that online. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. It's a secret of mine, okay? I usually don't share this with so many of them, but I'm sharing it to you all now, okay? So pay attention to what I'm trying to say, okay? Which is this. In order not to have an anxiety attack of the paper, you need to ensure that you send to your lecturers, okay? Send your assignment paper to your lecturers. If they say they have no time or they feel like, okay, it's just too much, just try and ask them, can I please just get a feedback or your opinion on the paper? If they say, sorry, I don't have the time today, it's okay, chase them. You know, this is the thing. If you finish your assignment, the benefits of this is this. I may say, okay, your grammatical errors, your vocabularies, your grammar structure, everything should be checked a day before your submission deadline. This applies to students who want to submit last minute, okay? But if you want to show to your lecturer, make sure everything is spot on. After everything is spot on, then you send it to your lecturers. Like, you make sure you finish your assignments like a week, 2 weeks before the submission deadline. When you submit, then after that, once you finish your paper, because you finished it like a week or 2 weeks before your submission deadline, you should send it to your lecturers. Send it, get their feedback. You ask them this. Sir, miss, can I please get your opinion or can I get your feedback on this paper? And if they say like, sorry, I don't have the time today, I'll just check when I can. Fine, just wait for 2-3 days. Because every lecturer it could be like 100 students in one class, 50 students in one class. They don't have the time to always check your paper and wait, okay? So it's you as a student, it's your responsibility how you want them to check your paper, okay? So if the student keeps on pushing the lecturer to check and check and check, they might feel fed up. Or if you keep on like, okay, one time you send it to them and then they're like, okay, you know what, you don't again chase them another time if they forget, they're gonna feel like, oh, the student is not being serious, they don't want me to check, fine, I'm not gonna check then, okay? So what you do is, if the lecturer doesn't check after 2-3 days, again send them a reminder email. Ask them, sir, miss, can you please check? I've sent it to you earlier. Can you please again check and see whether it's okay or not? Because I still haven't gotten a feedback from you yet. Then they'll apologize and then they'll say like, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Like, if I can do it today, I'll do it today. So you're basically reminding them. If they don't get back to you also, like, after that, send them after 2 to 3 days later, send them again another reminder email. So this is how you go after lecturers and show you're interested in getting their feedback, and their feedback actually that you would actually take their feedback into consideration and apply it into your assignment. Because whatever they're giving the feedbacks to you, right, it's very, very important. That's how they would help you to increase your grade. You might feel like, oh, teachers and lecturers don't actually care about our grades. They don't want to help us at all. If you do that, I'm guaranteeing you this, they will help you, okay? The way of them giving their feedback, their opinions to you is how they want you to achieve your grades. If they find that you're a very potential high student, have a bright future, immediately, okay, no matter how busy they are, they'll find time, they would help you to achieve it. So when they give you their feedback, make sure you take it, apply it. If they say, okay, you have to make amendments in this place. If you have to add particular sentences, if you have to give more quotes, if you have to give more explanation, you have to give more justifications, you have to give more elaborations, apply it, do it. Because if you don't do it, well, you're gonna feel like, what's the point of even giving the student like feedback if they don't even want to take our feedback into considerations, right? I mean, you as a person, you have to put yourself into their shoes as well, and you have to understand where they're coming from. And they might not tell you exactly where, how, what is it to do it, but you need to figure it out. That's your job as a student, to figure out what they're trying to tell you. So it's in between. You always have to read in between the lines of what they're trying to tell you. Then you'll be able to understand. Me as a student, in the beginning, it was difficult. That's where I always get clarifications. Like, okay, I could be like the most nerdiest student in class. I can be like the most craziest student, right? Any student would hate to have a class with me. But at the same time, they will benefit from it because I always ask tons of questions. When I don't understand something about an assignment, I will be like, Miss, can I like clarify with you regarding this? Or like, sir, can I ask you how should I do this? So the students who are shy or backbenchers who do not understand and are scared to even ask the lecturers are benefiting from me because of what are the questions that I'm asking. So immediately when the lecturer is giving the explanation, write it down, okay? Write whatever they're saying to you. Whatever, if they're saying, okay, this is how you're supposed to do your assignment, write it down. If you can't write word to word, summarize it, okay? According to what you understand, write it down so that you do not forget. So when you're writing your assignment, it benefits you. Any way a lecturer tries to guide you in writing an assignment or giving tips for your final exam, always focus on it. Always take it into consideration. Because if you go out of that, you're doomed, right? Okay. So obviously you might find it difficult in a first few times that you're scared. Oh my god, like how am I supposed to ask this lecturer? There's so many students in class, right? Don't worry about those students. If you want to be a scholarship A+ student in class, you want to be a bright student, you want to be a student who is top in the university, yeah, well, you have to do it, okay? You don't have to, you can't be thinking about people around you. You can't be thinking about your friends, what they're going to say. Oh, this girl or this guy is so nerdy. Okay, you shouldn't think about what your friends think, your classmates think about you, because at the end of the day, they might think all this nerdiness, they might bully you and stuff like that for being so nerdy and stuff. Just do not care. I honestly don't care at all. Okay, nobody at the end of the day, until today, 3 years of studying, right, so far, and achieving and being top A student, I have not heard once from any of my classmates saying, oh, Aruni, you are not benefiting us. You are not helping us. Okay, I have never heard this. Nobody would come and even bully me of being how nerdy I am in class, because they know that they're benefiting from it. They know that, oh, I already asked the question, so I don't have to ask. Oh, I already have already mentioned about this. I don't have to clarify with the lecturer again. And this is what I always tell my friends, right? If they do not get something, they always, first of all, they come running to me and they ask, Aruni, what did you ask again from the lecturer, right? Or what did you clarify with the lecturer earlier? What is it that they said? What did they give about the feedback? Well, I always ask this from them. Didn't you hear what I asked? Didn't you pay attention? Because paying attention in class is so important, okay? I'm begging every student, if you want to be like me, if you want to become a top A+ student, okay? Always do this. If you seek my advice, you take this advice and you apply, I am giving you 100% guarantee, because I have done it. It's my personal experience that I'm sharing with you guys, to the whole world today. It's because I have done it myself. If I have not done it, I would never even share this with you. And I don't share, honestly speaking to you, right? Like, I don't share this with all my friends, even in university. I do not tell them, like, you need to show this to your lecturer, unless like if they're doing a group assignment task with me, then they would know how I am. But if they don't have a group assignment task with me, they would not know. And being a group, I'm always the group leader, right? If there's a group assignment, I am the one who always push. I drive. I give them the drive, the motivation to faster do their assignments, to always finish up group assignments first, because it's very, very important. Individual tasks, individual assignments can be done later. Always, when the lecturers give you the tasks, the assignments in the beginning of the semester, of the group assignments, always complete it first, because you and your classmates have other assignments to do, other subjects to do. So always focus on the group ones first. That's when you can get it out the way, because everybody has to just do their in their own task in that group assignment for the assignment thing, and get done. And then immediately, once done, the group leader checks the assignment, submits it to the sends it to the lecturer, gets the feedback, do amendments, submit. You're done. You're getting it out of the way. After that, you can focus on your individual assignments, because individual assignments take a lot of time, because you have to sit down one-to-one, do it, focus, research, and make sure that you're getting the right amount of time, the right amount of space, the right amount of mental stability to even focus on the paper. Okay, it's not easy. It's never going to be easy, but it's how you apply it, because every semester is different. It hits you differently. You just have to do it. So I don't have much to say. I have to just summarize this. I know I've been repeating a lot of things the entire time. It's been juggling here and there, it's everywhere, because this is my flow thoughts, right? Okay, that I'm explaining to everybody here. So you have to understand that studying and taking notes while when you're studying is very, very important. And paying attention in class, getting help from your mentors or your lecturers or your teachers, is a way for you to get to the success of having a bright future in your life. Okay, so that is all for today's video. This is Aruni signing off.